Welcome to the 24th Annual Mohawk College Alumni of Distinction Awards. And of course, our very first ever virtual Mohawk College Alumni of Distinction Awards. I hope you've made yourself comfortable, maybe grab some red wine or some bubbly to cheers people along, or maybe nothing at all, or just a glass of water. However you've made yourself comfortable, we're hoping that we'll all have a great time tonight and really enjoy and have some fun. So before we get started, we of course have a few housekeeping items. So please ensure that you've clicked speaker view in the top right corner in order to always see the speaker on your screen. So we're going to start the event off with an introduction video. And in order for this to play well, we're asking you to please turn off your camera and your microphone while the videos play. And after each video ends, you can turn your cameras back on, but leave your microphones muted, and I'll sort of cue you. So throughout the evening, we'll be asking you to turn the cameras on, turn the cameras off, turn them on, turn them off, and this will assist with playing all the videos clearly, as I'm sure many of you have been dealing with Zoom, so you kind of know how it works. And if not, this just keeps everything flowing. And I promise that I'll give everyone cues. As long as I remember, I'll be giving you the cues, and this will be a learning experience, of course, for all of us. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy. As I mentioned, you're welcome to now turn your cameras back on. And what a great way to start the evening off as we celebrate 10 outstanding alumni. Though we are gathering from far and wide. Yeah, sure, cheers. We're gonna play that by ear. Cheers, congratulations. So although we are gathering from far and wide this evening, I'd like to begin by recognizing the place that brings us all together today. We acknowledge that Mohawk College is situated on the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe nations, within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement, and is currently home to many Indigenous peoples from across Turtle Island. Well, hi everyone, I am Linda Rourke, and I am truly honored to be the MC this evening. I'm a proud graduate of Mohawk College's Broadcasting, Television, and Communications Media Program, class of 1990, as well as an Alumni of Distinction recipient and a member of the Alumni Advisory Council. As a proud Mohawk alumni champion, I'm grateful to play a role in celebrating my fellow Mohawk alumni recipients this evening. Before we get to them, I'd like to acknowledge some guests here with us this evening. We have members of our Mohawk College Board of Governors, the Mohawk College Foundation Board of Directors, Mohawk College Alumni Advisory Council, Mohawk Students Association, and past Alumni of Distinction recipients. Welcome to everyone. Now, please turn on your microphones for a quick moment as I introduce the newest Alumni of Distinction recipients. I'm going to ask the recipients, after I announce their name, to wave and say hello so that we can see them clearly. So guests, please feel free, after they've said hi, to make some noise for each recipient after they've said hello and appeared on the screen. Chris Van Houten.
Hello.
Karen Breitner.
Hello.
Nancy Smith.
Hi.
Elizabeth Nowowski.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Mohawk.
There we go. See, the more noise you make, then we'll really see you. John McGrath.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Dr. Lori McLaughlin. We see Lori. Did we see her?
I'm here.
There we go. Cheer loud for yourself. The one time you can really make some noise for yourself is tonight. Brian Wilrich.
Hi, everybody. Hey.
Brian.
Curtis Onacheshin.
Hey, everybody.
And Dr. Bella Dietrich.
Hi there. Hi from England.
Hey. Well, thank you, everyone, and congratulations, recipients. I'm going to ask that you now mute all of your microphones, and throughout the evening, you'll get to meet and hear from each of our newest distinguished alumni. But first, please welcome the President and CEO of Mohawk College and the Mohawk College Foundation, Ron McCurley.
Well, thank you, Linda. And thank you so much, everyone, for being here and making the time for us this evening. As Linda indicated earlier, joining us this evening are members of the Mohawk College Board of Governors, the Mohawk College Foundation Board of Governors, the Mohawk College Alumni Advisory Council, and the Mohawk Student Association. Welcome to all of you. I think I can also see some proud family and friends that are here to recognize some inspiring people this evening. Thank you to all of you for joining us. This evening's guest of honors have applied their college training in amazing and transformational ways. They've made a positive impact in their industries and in their communities, and they've made life better for all of us. Among our distinguished alumni this evening are a popular radio show host and author, an award-winning voice actor, a renowned physiotherapist, a successful tradeswoman, and a young environmental activist. Their careers have grown in very different ways, but the roots of their training were established in the same place, at Mohawk College. Our dedicated professors, the hands-on learning, and the college experience all helped to nurture their skills and talents and started them on their flourishing careers. You know, here's an interesting fact for you. Since Mohawk College opened its doors 54 years ago, more than 130,000 students have graduated. And during that same half century, only 149 graduates have been recognized as alumni of distinction. Some of the previous award recipients are with us this evening. They look slightly older than the video showed them. But could you please all just wave now to be recognized? Will they see them? Will we be able to, we'll have to take you off the screen speaker view maybe to see you all. Can we do that? Is that possible, Linda? See everybody? Well, this evening's honorees are certainly part of a select group. So congratulations to Chris and Karen, Lisa, Nancy, Elizabeth, John, Lori, Brian, Curtis, and Bella. We're very proud to call you our 2020 Alumni of Distinction. Next Thursday, we'll celebrate our fall convocation ceremony. We'll add thousands more graduates to the alumni roster. I love to recognize our students for their accomplishments and to see the pride on their faces and the faces of their family and friends. And my hope is that all of those graduates will aspire to be as remarkable as the 10 alumni that we're recognizing right now. To our honored alumni, I'd like you to know that when prospective students ask why they should choose Mohawk, we tell them about you. When funders and donors are considering Mohawk for their support, we trumpet your achievements. When employers consider partnering with us, we share your stories of determination and success. Through your achievements, you show people what a Mohawk College education can mean for employers and for the community. And by your example, you show Mohawk students what is possible. Well, thank you for being part of the Mohawk College community, and I hope you all enjoy your evening. Thanks.
Thank you, Ron. Before we present our first Alumni of Distinction Award of the evening, I would like to call on the chair of the Mohawk College Alumni Advisory Council, Jay Hayward, to bring greetings on behalf of the Alumni Association.
Thank you, Linda. The Alumni Council would like to provide a big thank you to Johnson Insurance for being our event sponsor, and also supporting tonight's celebration are our other generous sponsors. The award sponsor is BMO, our print sponsor is PBI, and flower sponsor is Cole's Florist. Thank you for supporting us so we can continue this event virtually. The Alumni Council has established 10 entrance scholarships in honor of each of you tonight, and the Alumni Advisory Council has made an initial contribution of $500 towards each scholarship. Before presenting our first award, I'd like to thank the selection committee who joined me in the difficult task of choosing the recipients. Thank you to Linda Haslam-Stroud, Maria De Castro Santos-Tatina, Stephen Connor, Don McVicker, Megan Mascarin, and Gina DeRoe. Now back over to Linda to announce our first Alumni of Distinction winner.
Well, thanks, Jay. So once again, I'll have to ask you to please turn off your video and audio as we get in to announce the first recipient. And of course, we're kind of all learning as we go here tonight. And it's just so exciting to honor and recognize the incredible alumni of distinction. And the first Alumni of Distinction Award is in the affinity category and goes to someone with the eye for design. He is the director of virtual design and construction at Walters Group, a family-owned structural steel construction company based in Hamilton that designs, fabricates, and constructs commercial and industrial projects throughout North America. During his 23-year career, he has worked on some of Canada's most amazing engineering structures, including the Canadian Museum for Human Rights in Winnipeg, the Bow Tower in Calgary, the Royal Ontario Museum in Toronto, the Concord 8X Sky Bridge, which is suspended between two high rises in Toronto, which you've probably seen, and that's just to name a few. He has recently assumed the role of a group leader on the detailing team at Walters, where he coaches and mentors a group of team leaders who are leading several complex projects. Chris Van Houten has carved out an astounding career for himself while staying incredibly humble and grounded. He has some amazing memories of Mohawk, from the engineering popsicle stick competition that we'll hear about, and to just making it through the program. Please join me in watching Chris's video.
I graduated. My haha moment is I graduated, I think, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't say that I struggled through college, but I definitely, math was not my strongest. And if I had known that the civil engineering program was all math, I probably wouldn't have taken it. However, with the help of the teachers and the extra courses that the college offered, I was able to get through the math courses. To be able to say when I graduated grade 12 I was going to do calculus, I would have laughed at you, but to graduate I said I did calculus, that's an achievement that I'm pretty proud of. And my parents were pretty wise on not saying anything about engineering, but they realized I probably would have chickened out. One thing I remember is the teachers. The teachers are something that I still see the passion coming through students we have today. What I learned at school was how to learn and really how to apply what I would call first principles at school. And if you apply those first principles at school in your workforce, you will be successful. And college does teach you how to learn. And if you use that principles and you take that into your career and you always learn every day, I'm still learning today, you will be very successful. Now, so the Popsicle Stick Bridge competition was started by Peter Olwick many years ago. I was probably the 10th year or so in when he did that, and I was actually the first person to break the 3,000 pound for pound mark in that year. And with Walter's involvement with the school over the years, when they decided to try to suspend a car from a bridge, because we always said a bridge can hold a car, I was approached with Walters, and I was actually designing the frame, working with the engineers and all that to come up with a concept to suspend the truss. So I didn't build the actual truss itself, but yeah, the whole frame system and all that, I was actually the one who detailed it and worked on all that. That was fun. That was neat. I was nervous. I didn't think I was going to support it. I was ready to run. Your reputation and everything is on the line with that one. So if it failed, I'm out of there. I got a plane ticket to Jamaica.
All right, you can turn your video and audio on as we announce and congratulate and welcome Civil Engineering Technology Program Class of 1995 Alumni of Distinction recipient Chris Van Houten.
Keep going.
Oh, thank you, Linda.
Great work, Chris.
Thank you. I am both honored and humbled with the Alumni Affinity Distinction Award. As they say, it takes a village to raise a child, and so it takes a group of great people to create a successful career. I have been privileged to be taught by wonderfully talented and dedicated faculty at Mohawk, many of whom I have been in contact with until their retirement at the college. I have also enjoyed returning to the college from time to time to be part of the classroom instruction. I have also been privileged to be surrounded by equally dedicated co-workers at Walters who patiently answered my why questions and provided constructive criticism when required. When I first started in the steel industry, I was told that it was a small industry and I would be working with the same people in the industry over the years. How true this statement has been. I would like to thank the management at Walters for allowing me to incorporate some of my ideas into the production stream. I am sure some of the ideas sounded crazy at the time, but they were always willing to listen. In terms of my colleagues outside of my work, thanks for helping me in learning new skills outside of my trade. Last but not least, thanks to my wife and children. There were many nights when I would come home late and was unable to say goodnight to the kids. Some nights I did not even come home as I was traveling for work. Without your continued support, I would not have been able to focus on my career. One blessing with COVID is that I have been home almost every night, allowing us to enjoy some good family time. Again, a big thank you to all those who have helped me to make this day so special.
So you can now please turn your video and audio off once again as we announce the second recipient. The Alumni of Distinction Award in the apprenticeship category goes to someone who decided it's never too late to make a career change. And she found herself single-handedly caring for her young daughter. She decided she needed to go back to school. It was her father who suggested the electrical trade. And even though she had no experience in that area, she decided to enroll in the electrician construction and maintenance program. After graduating, she worked as an apprentice journeyman at an aerospace company and then in the electrical department of Home Depot, where she quickly became an assistant store manager. And in 2002, she decided to go into business for herself as she recognized a need for women in the electrical sector. She also returned to Mohawk as a professor and taught first year and advanced electrical apprenticeship courses until 2016. Her now grown daughter followed her into the trades, inspired by her mom's success. Karen Breitner is proud of her accomplishments and her perseverance in overcoming many obstacles. The one thing Karen knows for sure, she made the right choice that paved the way to a successful career. Please join me in watching Karen's video.
So the funny thing was, before I started at Mohawk College, I actually applied for 2 different courses. I applied for the millwright course and the electrical course. In that time, it was a really big decision for me because I really liked the mechanics of being a millwright, but I also liked the electrical. And it was my father that said, you know, do you want to work in the greasy environment or do you want to run a wire to it? So that was him that sort of gave me the heads up to choose the electrical program. Well, I had a guidance counselor that really gave me a rough time, thinking that I was in the clouds. He didn't think that I would succeed. Him kind of giving me that negativity actually made me stronger. So there's some old school stuff that I've had to overcome, but I did, and I have, and people respect me for just being there. So doing my job. I was very driven. I had a small child at home that needed her mom to have a good job. And so for me, that was my incentive. Whenever there was a bad day, I always just looked to Sarah and said, you know, that this is why I'm here. I'd say that I got a lot of confidence from Mohawk College. I had some amazing teachers. So Don Curry, for example, is one that really jumps out at me as someone that didn't care that I was a female. He could care less. He was looking to see what my skill base was and what I could do. And that always made me feel very welcome. I have tried very hard to get women interested in the trades because there's no reason anyone can't do this, but they have to have the drive. And you can't teach the drive. They either have it or they don't. So I love doing what I do and then turning around and looking what the results are. So I love to see it's a little bit artistic in some regards, and it's nice to see what I've accomplished. Well, as a self-employed person, there's not a lot of, goals or not a lot of credit, I guess, for what you do. So I think getting the Alumni of Distinction from Mohawk College is just sort of a little, you're doing a good job.
Please join me in welcoming and congratulating from the Electrician Construction and Maintenance class of 1988 and the Industrial Electrician Program class of 1992, Alumni of Distinction recipient Karen Breitner.
Woohoo!
There you go.
Way to go, Karen.
Yay. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm,
I'm happy to say a few words, Karen.
I'm so very honored to be the Alumni of Distinction this year. I kind of look at this as sort of the brownie badges that, you know, we used to get when we were in brownies or guides or something, just a little, hey, you're doing a great job. And it's going to be very nice to have in my office. So I thank you for that.
The Alumni of Distinction Award in the business category goes to a successful author, motivational speaker, host, and personal development coach. In addition to her Mohawk diploma, she has a sociology degree from McMaster University. In 2016, she returned to Mohawk to address the graduating class at their convocation. Her podcast, Living Fearlessly with Lisa McDonald, explores the obstacles and challenges that hold people back. The show seeks to inspire and empower listeners to break the cycle of negative thoughts and actions that prevent them from reaching their goals. Building on the success of her podcast in 2015, Lisa began hosting her own radio show for the Contact Talk Radio Network, where she focuses on personal empowerment while interviewing inspiring authors, musicians, and world thought leaders. Lisa McDonald is passionate about the importance of paying it forward and finding your true self by just showing up. Lisa knows the power of how one individual can make significant change in your life. Please join me in watching Lisa's video.
I've dedicated all of this, all the media and everything I've done associated with this distinctive award to the memory and the legacy of Kelly Buchanan Dunham. Because had it not been for her, in terms of bringing me into the fold with peer mentoring and having been previously a convocation speaker, I would not be a recipient of this award. So any opportunity I have to keep her leadership, her memory, her beacon of light spirit alive, it's the least I can do. So this is all for Kelly. Well, I have to tell you, when I first found out that I was a member of the Alumni Distinction, truly an honor, truly a privilege. I take nothing lightly or for granted in my life. And I've had nothing but phenomenal experiences here at the college. For me, Mohawk College, having any affiliation with it, talking about it, being back in the vicinity of it, it just conjures up all these wonderful memories of what it means to be a leader, what it means to show up in your life. And by showing up in your life, you therefore show up in other people's lives. It's really the spirit of Mohawk that embodied everything I did in the trajectory of my journey, because it was always with the mindset of paying it forward and being of service and truly showing up and arriving as the best, most improved version of yourself. My classmates, some of which I still have very strong ongoing friendships and kinships with, we just talk about the journey of, can you remember how long ago it's now been since we were students, and now we've got children who are upcoming, and we all have our children at various ages. So I have friends who I've graduated from the college with who they're at a different stage with their children, and their kids are either graduating from high school and they're having to make the decision alongside them. Are you going to go to college? Are you going to go to university? And not surprising, many of them end up here, right? Another generation of Mohawk students. I would say to anybody who's coming up, looking at applying to Mohawk College, is soon to be graduating from Mohawk College and knows that they have to spread their wings in a bigger world, do so fearlessly, do so courageously.
Please join me in welcoming and congratulating from the Child and Youth Worker Program, class of 1994, Alumni of Distinction recipient, Lisa McDonald.
Oh, bravo.
Thank you. Thank you, friends. I just want to say thank you very much to everybody. It truly has been an honor. It's been a privilege. It's been a pleasure. And again, I do dedicate this award and the scholarship to Kelly Buchanan Dunham, who, had it not been for her and her leadership and her bringing me on board to play in the arena and the playground once again with Mohawk College, none of this would be possible. So we all miss her dearly. Her spirit will prevail, and this is for Kelly. So thank you, everybody.
Thanks for remembering her.
Lisa had me in tears when I was talking to her, and her dedication to Kelly was so hard to hold them back. She was a great woman, as are you. You can please, if you could please turn your video and audio off once again as we announce the fourth recipient. The Alumni of Distinction Award in the Community Services category goes to someone who has dedicated her life to helping others, more recently focusing on women and children in need. For more than 38 years, she has held senior management and leadership roles in the not-for-profit sector, focusing on program development for both children and adults. Her extensive work in children's services and policy work at Queen's Park has resulted in changes to the Young Offenders Act and the Child and Family Services Act. In 1997, she joined Interval House of Hamilton, IHOH, as residential program manager before moving to executive director in 2015. Interval House provides emergency shelter, safety planning, and support services for women with or without children who've experienced abuse or violence. The pride Nancy Smith holds, Mohawk has stood the test of time. She truly understands the importance of education and the lifelong foundation it gives. Nancy's determination to persevere no matter what started in her first semester at Mohawk College. Please join me in watching Nancy's video.
My memory of Mohawk College was I wanted to be involved in college life, so I joined the women's basketball team. And it wasn't too long into being on that team that I was pulled. I was pulled because I'm pretty short. And I couldn't see past the other players, and I kept going for the wrong net. When I applied for my entry paper, and here I am in this lecture hall full of other applicants wanting to get in. And I'm hearing about the Child Youth Worker Program, and I brought my sister with me because I was so nervous to, be there, and nervous, am I gonna get in? And thank goodness I got in. But I also, came out of it with knowing I'm a Mohawk grad. And I carried that proudly through my career because it really was pivotal to opening doors. You know, coming at my career with solid education behind me. Education is really fundamental to your career. It gives you your credibility. It holds you accountable as a professional in the field to ethics, professional standards, responsibility, and accountability. If I were to do my education again or have a takeaway, I don't think I would change a thing. I am a believer that we all make decisions at the time for a reason. Right or wrong, good or bad, whether somebody likes it or they don't, you make them for yourself. And you stand by your convictions. Oh, I am so thrilled to be an award winner of Alumni of Distinction with Mohawk College. I actually cried when I got the phone call. And I couldn't talk. And here's Ron McCurley on the other end of the phone trying to chat with me, and I couldn't say a word. I was stunned because it's such a prestigious award, and I am so honored to receive it.
Please join me in welcoming and congratulating from the Child Care Worker Program Class of 1981 Alumni of Distinction recipient, Nancy Smith.
Yay, Nancy.
Yay, Nancy.
Way to go.
Well, thank you, everyone. My parents modeled good work ethics, and it was often said, if you're going to do something, do it well. And well, here we are. Thank you so much to my parents and my sisters for their unwavering support, to Mohawk College for actually accepting me into the course, and for providing this platform to celebrate. Congratulations to all the Alumni of Distinction Award recipients tonight. And I just also want to do a shout out. Today is Child Care Worker and Early Childhood Education Appreciation Day. And I want to do a shout out of congrats to my peers in the field. So thank you very much, Mohawk. It means a lot.
Yay, Nancy.
The Alumni of Distinction Award in the Creative Arts and Design category goes to a chartered marketer and a licensed investment advisor who has 23 years experience working for brokerage firm Caldwell Securities Limited, where she is vice president of marketing. In 2018, she created a half-hour YouTube show, Finance is Personal, a lively educational talk show featuring female guests with an emphasis on financial literacy for women. Over the years, she has served on numerous boards, including XTRX Solutions, the Women's Collection, and is a past director of the Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame. She is also a seasoned speaker, moderator, and MC, having moderated panels for the Canadian Securities Exchange, Women in Capital Markets, and the DeGroote Women's Professional Network. She hosts her own financial literacy webcasts and participates on panel discussions, most recently on the Empire Club of Canada. One thing we know about Elizabeth Nomowski is she is a force to be reckoned with. Her desire to succeed, mentor, and give back are at the core of who Elizabeth is, and her parents were the first to help her pave the way for her success. Please join me in watching Elizabeth's video.
The biggest change that ever happened in my life was before I was born. It was when my mom and dad left Yugoslavia to come to Canada. And so they weren't privileged enough to be able to go to school. They did come here, they're self-taught, they were successful, but they also taught me that an education is very, very important because it opens up so many more doors for you in so many situations, and it's your pathway to life. The one thing that I remember really, really well is, in television broadcasting, you had years 1, 2, and 3. And it was a really tight-knit group, and everyone looked out for everyone. So if you looked at year 3, they mentored year 2 mentored year 1. So there was this whole family of mentorship and helping. And I think that actually instilled in me that mentorship is really, really important going forward throughout your life. One of my favorite times was Russell Ellman's classes, right? Media law, media ethics. And that media ethics and then understanding the regulatory aspect, that's actually helped me on Bay Street, and it's helped me in life as well. I can basically say everything I learned at Mohawk has brought me here. I mean, going from broadcasting to Bay Street is really difficult. They're complete two different entities. Having said that, they're both male dominated as well, right? So it's one of those survival games. But everything I learned at Mohawk, whether it was the mentorship, helping everyone, the one thing I learned was you never burn your bridges. And I've never done that. I've always wanted to help people, and I've always been able to go back to people that I worked with 30 years ago or whatever it is. Basically, you are your own walking brand, right? So walk with dignity and own it. There are many proud moments of my life, but I can say that it is one of my proudest moments. I think it's incredible.
Please join me in welcoming and congratulating from the Broadcasting, Television and Communications Media Program Class of 1984, Alumni of Distinction recipient Elizabeth Nomowski.
Thank you,
Elizabeth. Woo!
Thank you. I have to say that I am honored and really proud to be a recipient of the Alumni of Distinction 2020 Award. The part that's most important to me is that it's an award that gives back to the community, and it allows a future student to be able to go to school and to help them with their finances. And I'm all about giving back to the community as well and helping the next generation. I think that we all have an obligation to mentor our future leaders. And we need to guide them, and we need to help them, and we need to share all of our successes and all of our failures with them as well. And we need them to be better than us. We need them to succeed more than us. We just need them to be out there and just be truly successful. And I've always said I'm never going to fail at anything, not because I'm brilliant, because I'm not. However, I do surround myself with incredible friends, colleagues, family. And when I don't know something, they are there to help me with the answer. One of the questions that Linda had asked me, what have I learned, an aha moment, and it wasn't in the video. The aha moment for me was Miss Freddie White Sox, my cat, who taught me patience. And she hasn't appeared here today, so I think she may pop up at some point later on. And I want to thank my amazing husband as well, who has been a real shining light for me. He has been there every show, every panel discussion, every speech, everything. But he's been there when I've had self-doubt. And so I need to thank him for that. But I also, as I said, I need to help thank my parents, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. And if it wasn't for them talking to me about finance and being frugal, I would have never had this passion for financial literacy and to help women and children with their finances for their future. So thank you so much, Mohawk. I have learned a lot. Thank you.
The Alumni of Distinction Award in the Entrepreneur category goes to someone with over 30 years experience as a successful media and public relations expert, journalist, and award-winning voice actor. Upon graduating from Mohawk, he spent 14 years working as a journalist for the various outlets, including CHML Radio Hamilton and the Canadian Press National News Agency. He founded McGrath Communications in 1997, providing a wide range of external and internal communication services to major corporations, professional associations, healthcare institutions, governments, government agencies, and charitable organizations. He is a sought-after media and speaker trainer, working with senior executives as well as community leaders. He won Best Voiceover for image work with the various US TV stations that he's done work for, and he can also be heard on several animated TV shows. John McGrath has had many doors open through the years and accredits a lot of his success to the foundation he was given at Mohawk College. Although John has worked hard, he's had a lot of fun along the way. Please join me in watching John's video.
So I do voiceover for commercials, animated TV show. Somebody pays me to talk like this, what can I say? We were taught in journalism to be storytellers, first and foremost, and that has served me throughout, regardless of what technology is, so you didn't get trapped in a certain way of doing things. To the teachers who were there, who helped mold me, at the time when you're younger, you don't really appreciate it as much. And my experience at Mohawk was, if something came up that we couldn't or felt overwhelmed on, my teachers would tell us to back up. You can handle it, and look at your skill set and use what you have. And I still use that. I personally believe life is an ongoing education, both formal and informal, where you're always learning something, and you should have the desire to keep learning. And good educational institutions, which is how I experienced Mohawk, feed that desire. They encourage that desire to want to keep learning. Like, I never felt like, oh, I don't want to come into school tomorrow. Like, I loved going to school and was proud to have come here. I'm very blessed where I've had so many experiences. I flew a plane, both an engine and a glider. I have been in a helicopter. I've met 2 presidents. I've met the Pope. Sometimes I sit back and say, wow, if only one of those happened, that would be kind of cool. But I sit back and think I've really had a lot of neat experiences, which is, again, just going along for the ride and enjoying it. But if you do take the spotlight off yourself, then the story gets told better. And that's the same in entrepreneurial spirit, is if you take the spotlight off of look at me as opposed to look at what I'm offering, that is what has helped me be a success.
Join me in welcoming and congratulating from the Broadcast Journalism Program Class of 1983 Alumni of Distinction recipient, John McGrath.
Way to go, John.
Wow, thank you. That was actually fun to watch, because I don't know about anybody else, but that's the first time I've seen that video, and it reminded me myself of some of the fun and crazy experiences I've had, and it all started at Mohawk. Really, this really is quite an honor, and frankly, it's also humbling, because when I look through this virtual room of other recipients, I'm really quite privileged to be honored with such an esteemed group of talented people. It's like, wow, look at these people and what they've accomplished. I remember about a month ago when I got the call from Mohawk President Ron McCurley. At first, I didn't know why he was calling. In fact, I knew somebody had put forward my name for consideration. And I thought he was calling to vet me to see if I was even worthy of such an honor. And so it was quite a pleasant surprise when he told me that I would be honored tonight, and quite a privilege and an honor. So I also want to thank the Mohawk Alumni Association for recognizing the achievements that I've had so far. You know, if I reflect back on my time in Mohawk, I graduated in 1983 in broadcast journalism. And it wasn't just the skills that I learned, which were invaluable, but a lot of the intangible skills really stood out to me. And yes, Russell Elman as a teacher in media law does stand out. But I do want to shout out to my broadcast journalism teacher, Mr. Dick Gray, who he gave me so much encouragement during my time at Mohawk, and really instilled in me the intangibles of always believing in myself, and also to be willing to change and go along with things as they change, and not worry about it, and go with the flow, and adapt. And that really has served me all through my entrepreneurial career and running my own business, but especially in this time that we all find ourselves in, being able to adapt and change and go with it and make the best of it is really crucial. And I really learned that skill and honed that skill at Mohawk. As I mentioned, I have had quite a blessed career, I consider, and I'm quite happy and proud that it really did start from the building blocks that were established at Mohawk. So I do want to thank everybody at college who taught me, who in my youth and ignorance didn't thank them at the time. So I do thank them now, because they did help form me. And I also would be remiss if I didn't also thank my wife and my kids for their patience and love and support through the years, because running your own company can also be challenging and sometimes involves a few more hours than 9 to 5. So I thank them for their love and support and being there and encouraging me to continue to pursue my passion and my dreams. So thank you.
The Alumni of Distinction Award in the Health Sciences category is a leader in the field of orthopedic physiotherapy and a world-renowned expert in manual therapy and the role of breathing in chronic pain and stress. She earned a Bachelor of Science in Physiotherapy from McMaster University and an Advanced Diploma of Manual and Manipulative Physiotherapy from the Canadian Physiotherapy of Association with Distinction. She was a chief examiner for the orthopedic division of the Canadian Physiotherapy Association and has taught both nationally and internationally. She noticed a segment of her patients, many of whom were poor breathers, did not improve with traditional treatment. Upon further research, she recognized a gap in health provider knowledge regarding the importance and effects of altered breathing. This motivated her to seek a doctorate with a focus on breathing, and she completed a Doctor of Science in Physical Therapy at Andrews University in Michigan and is the owner of McLaughlin Proactive Health Group. Dr. Lori McLaughlin was inspired at a young age to take the path of physiotherapy. Her education, determination, and desire to help others has carried her to where she is today. Please join me in watching Dr. Lori McLaughlin's video.
When I was younger, a guy in our friend group was in a motorcycle accident and he was really pretty badly hurt. And a physio taught him how to walk again. That was it. That's how I found what I wanted to do. Going to Mohawk was such a chance because I hadn't been a great student. I didn't love school. I was kind of apathetic. And then to have gotten in was my chance, and to find a profession that was such a great fit for me and that taught me so much, and it gave the foundation to learn more afterwards. I have so many memories from Mohawk, so many times, a lot of fun, like with classmates, and I worked at the Arnie and we ran pubs and we had so much fun. But it was balanced off because you couldn't just have fun. There was a lot of challenges, and it was the first time I'd faced the potential of failing in an academic setting. And other ones okay, but not in academic setting. And so it was sobering, and you had to dig deep, and you had to figure out how to show up. And so I grew up an awful lot during that. So there was a lot of memories associated with that as well. I think the biggest skill or life enhancement that I got at Mohawk was them teaching me how to think, and which was I use every day, because it was never expected that you would know the answer. So it doesn't freak me out if I don't know the answer to something, because they taught me how to think around it, how to think through it, how to try some ideas on for size, and then come up with the best idea and go forward. And I use that to this day. Education is important, but I think one of the key things is it doesn't end when you get your diploma. It's the beginning of it. That gives you your foundation that you launch from, and education needs to be an ongoing thing that you do the rest of your life.
Please join me in welcoming and congratulating from the physiotherapy program class of 1982 alumni of distinction recipient, Dr. Lori McLaughlin.
Go, Lori.
Sure.
Thank you, Linda, for your introduction, and to the Alumni of Distinction Award Committee for this amazing honor. Mohawk College is such an impressive institution and has always been a pioneer in providing innovative programs. Am I on? Innovative programs that prepare students for the real world, and it certainly worked for me. This is where I learned the foundational tools of my trade, as well as being taught how to think for myself and problem solve, which has always stood me in good stead, and I still use every single day. Not only is this recognition an honor, but it's also quite shocking given my start. I'm sure my classmates would agree. I was a disinterested high school student who finally figured out I wanted to be a physiotherapist after being inspired by one who taught my friend how to walk again after an accident, as I said in the video. I was lucky enough to be accepted into the program from the waiting list. My study habits, or lack thereof, followed me here so much so that one of my teachers said, and I quote, "Lori, in your effort to do as little as possible, please try not to miss the point. Ouch. But what is the point anyway? I think the point is to love what you do and be the best you can be at it every single day while doing what you can to make a difference. That way life has meaning and purpose. I continue to enjoy a wonderfully rewarding career thanks to Mohawk and taking a chance on me. I am very grateful to now be a member of this extremely accomplished group of distinguished alumni. I will cherish this. Thank you so much.
Now, before we do, this is usually the time of the event where we'd be pausing to enjoy a warm meal. Maybe you've got some appies around you you've been enjoying. And as I showed you at the start there, maybe a glass of wine or something as you cheers people. We'd also be in a beautiful venue. And I'm not saying that your setting isn't beautiful. It probably is gorgeous and you're all looking amazing tonight. But, you know, things are definitely a little bit different this year. And as we've seen with some of the videos playing, you know, it is what it is, but it's just so fantastic that we've all been able to gather together virtually and still celebrate this year's winners. So with saying all of that, our 8th Alumni of Distinction Award in the Mohawk College employee category goes to someone with more than 40 years of experience in television production in both Canada and the United States. After graduating, he was a general operator at CHCH TV in Hamilton from 1980 to 2000. And from 2000 to 2010, he was executive producer of Wilrich Digital Television, a film, television, and video production company. His long list of credits includes coverage of major events on the world stage, such as the G8 summits, professional sports, and international news events. His attention to detail and creative vision has attracted the attention of major media outlets throughout North America, including NBC, CBS, and CNN. In 2005, he returned to Mohawk College as a professor in the Media and Entertainment Department while still working on a freelance basis in the television industry. Brian Wilrich's love and passion of the media industry has kept him engaged throughout his career. His life has come full circle, and Brian is truly honored to be an alumni of distinction. Please join me in watching Brian's video.
I was totally blindsided by the call I got from Ron McCurley telling me I had won the award. Why me? Before coming to Mohawk, I was an avid photographer as a hobby. And I never thought of going into photography or television as a career. But as it happens, I had an uncle, Uncle Abe Krikorian, who was a film cameraman who worked at CHCH TV. And he took me on a tour one day when I was in grade 12. And I fell in love. And I thought, this is it. So I signed up for Mohawk right away. And then when I was accepted and got in, my uncle then started to teach film at Mohawk. So that was really cool. And I followed in his footsteps. I got my, knowledge at Mohawk, and then I got a job at CH. And then after I left CH and became a teacher at Mohawk. So it's exactly the same circle that he went through, I went through as well. Well, as a student here, geez, so many things happened when I was here. I remember that in the television course, a 3-year course, we started out learning photography. We had to have our own cameras. But on our 3rd year, Mohawk took delivery of color television. We also had a mobile on wheels, which was a Greyhound bus converted into a mobile studio. And back then, this bus didn't run very well. And there are pictures, and I remember us pushing the bus away from Mohawk to kickstart it, and the instructor driving it would pop the clutch and it would start, and then we would all run and pile in and go off to wherever the shoot was. There's no way you could do anything like that today. I've never woken up and thought, I gotta go to work today. It's always, what am I gonna do today? I used to be a cameraman for the movie network, and every year at TIFF, I would go and film the big stars. I remember one day I interviewed Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise, Charlize Theron. Looking back at my education here at Mohawk, and that was in the 80s, there's nothing I would change. It was really good back then.
Please join me in welcoming and congratulating from the broadcast television class of 1980, Alumni of Distinction recipient, Brian Wilrich.
Yay, Brian!
Great job.
Way to go, Brian.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much. Connie Smith yelled out Boris. I haven't heard that name for so long. That's a nickname I got when I was working at CH. I'm not sure why, but it's stuck.
No, either.
I just want to say thanks to the Alumni Association. Congratulate all the other winners. You're such amazing people. There's a doctor there. And, you know, speaking of doctors and the initials MD, I'm told I get to put MD at the end of my name now because I'm a man of distinction, which is awesome. That's great. I'll start.
Oh, Brian.
Hey, I want to thank all my family and friends for joining us tonight. It's great you could take the time out of your busy lives and crazy lives right now. And thanks so much for being here. There's some special guests I want to thank that I've gotten to know over the years. Jennifer, hi Jennifer Aniston, it's great to see you. Ryan Goslin, good to see you too. It's been a while. The other Ryan, Ryan Reynolds, thanks for the bottle of your gin. This is awesome. I tried it, 2 thumbs up. It's really, really good. And speaking of drinking, I actually never drank until I turned 45 years old.
Right.
That's the truth. I was just an abstainer. I had abstainers insurance. But by coincidence, I started drinking when I was 45 and I started teaching when I was 45. Don't know if that's in there. There might be, I don't know. I'd really like to accept this award on behalf of the other faculty and staff in the television department. You know, they're all alumni. They all do great work. They've all done great things in their careers and still continue to. One professor, Atul Rayal, he's writing 2 Netflix shows right now, and everyone else does such great things. And it's awesome to be part of that team. I want to say I'm a lucky guy, and I'm also very thankful. I had a lucky career, and honestly, I'm lucky to still be working at Mohawk. And that's because a couple of years ago, during one of our Saturday open houses, I was talking to President Ron McCurley, and I was getting pretty animated talking about changes to our department and a new facade. And I threw my arm back to point at something, and I hit his wife right in the face. And I hit her hard. And I honestly thought I broke her nose. It was that bad. And that ended our conversation. And unfortunately, our department hasn't had a facelift yet, probably because of me. But I'm glad she was okay after that incident. I mentioned in the video, my uncle Abe Kokorian, he got me turned on to this business. I was an avid photographer growing up, took lots of pictures, just did it as a hobby. But when he took me to CH and took me on a tour, I just fell in love. I was lucky to get into the TV program at Mohawk, where my uncle Abe taught. And I was lucky to get a job at CH right after graduating. And I worked with some of the best broadcasters and TV crew in the business. Connie Smith's joining us tonight, Sue Prestige, Connie's wife, Dave Wilson, great director, producer, so many great people I've had the privilege of working with. Continuing on with the lucky theme, I was lucky to have met my wife 39 years ago, and lucky she supported me all these years. And she actually supported me when I said to her one day, after working at CH for 20 years, I want to leave. I want to take out a bank loan for $150,000, buy all my own equipment, start my own company, and give it a go. And she said, okay. And, you know, and the rest is history. I'm lucky to have 3 great kids who have 3 great partners. And I'm lucky to soon be a grandfather for the first time, as my daughter Brittany is going to give birth in the new year, which is awesome. And finally, I'm lucky again to be still working at Mohawk, following my uncle's footsteps. And I'm lucky to have the privilege of helping to educate our professionals in training, our students, and looking and watching all of the great productions they're going to produce for all of us. So thank you, everybody.
Thanks so much, Brian. I know the students have loved you over the years. You've been such an incredible addition to the college. In the recent grad category, this goes to someone who is dedicated to cleaning up the world's waterways and raising awareness about the plight of our oceans. And from a young age, He's been participating in and then organizing cleanups along the Thames River in his hometown of Woodstock, Ontario. While a student, he was invited to participate and present on behalf of Mohawk College at the World Wildlife Fund Designing Change for a Living Planet competition. Since graduation, he has co-founded Project Snorkel, an initiative that seeks to improve watershed and enhance the relationship between the local communities of southwestern Ontario and their waterways via stewardship and outdoor recreation. The project removes litter from water bodies and beaches in Oxford County and incorporating public engagement through social media. Curtis Onacheshin knows the importance of giving back. Volunteering has been a constant in his life, and he carried that commitment through his time at Mohawk College. His passion to make a difference is at the heart of what he does, making him a perfect alumni of distinction. Join me in watching Curtis's video.
Getting the Alumni Distinction Awards, like, pretty amazing. Caught me off guard because I got an email from the staff and then the president wanted to call me. So I was like, uh-oh, what did I do? And then when he told me, I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. I was really pumped for it. Actually, I really liked my experience. I don't think I really changed anything. Maybe study harder would be my only thing. But yeah, other than that, I loved playing the sports and giving back to the school, being with my classmates for my environmental technician program, and also playing rugby with some of the same people in that class was a lot of fun. And then just volunteering was also very good with the sustainability office. I had a blast doing all that, and I was really happy with my Mohawk experience. Getting into the Ocean Bridge program when I was here helped a lot. It was very hard because I remember the one time I had to leave rugby game at 8, go to a flight at 10, and then stay in Vancouver for a week and then come back at like 3 o'clock in the morning for a red eye and then go to class. Ocean Bridge is just a program out of Oceanwise, funded by the Canadian government. And what they do is they grab 40 youth all across Canada and they bring them together so they can bring ocean awareness to Canada and the areas that we went to. It was a very cool program. We had people from like BC, Nunavut, Ontario. So it was just interesting to talk to different people from different perspectives and stuff and get their take on what ocean awareness and like that kind of stuff means to them. But I think giving back's really important. Like, you get a lot out of it too. And like, it's not just the experience and like building up your resume, your CV. It's like actually communicating with like people in the community, going into the environmental field and try to do the most that I possibly can for the environment and hopefully reverse some of the negative effects we've had over the years. And then other than that, just play some sports and have a good time.
Join me in welcoming and congratulating from the Environmental Technology Class of 2019 Alumni of Distinction recipient, Curtis Onacheshin.
Woo! Curtis! Woo!
Hey.
Congratulations!
Hi everyone, I just want to give some quick thank yous. I want to thank all the staff at Mohawk that made my experience very good there. Had a lot of good times in the labs. I want to thank my friends from Mohawk, the Environmental Heroes. That's our little close-knit group we had. We did a lot of studying, drank a lot at the Arnie. It was all good times though. I want to thank an important person that I met at Ocean Bridge. His name is Chuck, he's in the call. He really helped me, guide me as a young professional, which helped me and my partner start our project, Project Snorkel, which was amazing. That was 4 months of cleaning up the oceans in the waterways in southwestern Ontario, and interacting with the people that live around these parts and, you know, doing our best to clean up the environment. And I'm very astonished and happy that I won this award. It was a lot of hard work, and thank you.
Oh, congratulations, Curtis. You're such an inspiration at such a young age. So our 10th and final Alumni of Distinction Award this evening is in the technology category. The Global Research Program Manager with ARUP Global Foresight, Research and Innovation in London, UK, which manages research, delivery, and complex solutions shaping the future of the built environment. She manages an $11.7 million Canadian research investment in over 44 disciplines, advises on research prioritization and strategy, undertakes portfolio investment analysis, disseminates research outcomes, and establishes collaborations with clients, industry partners, and academia to solve complex problems. She is also the managing director of Modern Design Studio, a design, construction, and events management firm focused on providing an enhanced community experience by creating inclusive, creative, and sustainable design solutions. In the time of COVID, we all know the importance of technology, and Dr. Bella Dietrich understands this well as she is coming to us from the UK tonight. Bella's journey at Mohawk helped her set the stage for her education, career, and her ability to connect with others as a peer and mentor. Please join me in watching Dr. Bella Dietrich's video.
Mohawk is sort of the seed that started my long adventure into academia. Mohawk gave me the opportunity to go and do a Bachelor's of Technology at McMaster, which then that opportunity led to my Master's at Cambridge in the UK, which then ultimately led to my full scholarship to complete my PhD in construction. So, without Mohawk, I don't know where I would be today. During Mohawk College, I have met some really astonishing people that have become my lifelong friends. So one advice I would say is that, you might think that you're just there to get a diploma or a degree, but some of the people that you go through this journey with will become your lifelong friends. I would say expecting quality from your teachers and peers to be the mentor or inspiration that you aspire to be. I try to be that person for new graduates that I work with or hire because they're always looking for some guidance, and I try to be that person, just like the people at Mohawk were for me. Mohawk was the start of many things. It was the start of determining what your career could look like. It could determine what further learnings you need. And so I guess naively when I started, I thought, you're there for a diploma, let's get it done, let's go find a job. But I think you quickly discover that, it's not just Mohawk. Mohawk is the bridge to lead you into other opportunities in life.
Please join me in welcoming and congratulating a graduate of the Architectural Technology and Civil Engineering Technology Program, class of 2008, Alumni of Distinction recipient, Dr. Bella Dietrich.
Great job.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Wendy, Linda, and the rest of the faculty for organizing this truly remarkable night. It's such a true honor for being recognized for the Technology Award. It's been a little over 10 years since I've left Mohawk, but of course, some of my fondest memories were made there, which I'll carry throughout my life. So just thank you again for putting on this amazing event to honor us. Cheers.
Cheers, Bella. I hope you're doing well and
Bella.
staying healthy in the UK. So sorry that you couldn't be here with us, but hopefully the next time you come back to Canada, you come by Mohawk College and say hello. Well, how about an amazing round of applause for all 10 recipients this year. Chris Van Houten, Karen Breitner, Lisa McDonald, Nancy Smith, Elizabeth Nomowski, John McGrath, Dr. Lori McLaughlin,
We'll do it together, guys.
Brian Wilrich, Curtis Onacheson, and Dr. Bella Dietrich. You are most definitely distinguished, inspirational, and role models for current and future Mohawk students, and we will be posting those inspiration videos on the alumni website. Before we close out the event, I would once again like to thank the following sponsors for their support towards the event: Johnson Insurance, BMO, PBI, and Coles Florist. And thanks, of course, to all of you for being here with us from far and wide and celebrating our 10 distinguished alumni. I heard tonight the words proud, foundation, fun, teachers that were amazing, mentorship, and just the importance of education, and of course the Arnie, from all of you. And it just shows the pride that we have as alumni of distinction to be part of the Mohawk College family. And it was a real honor to be able to talk to each of you and interview you and really get to know you a little bit. You are really, truly remarkable people. Now we need all of your help for next year's event. If you know another remarkable Mohawk graduate who's making a difference, we want to know about it. So send an email or a phone call to the Alumni Association and spread the word. Just let people know we're looking for these amazing Mohawk grads that are doing so much to make a difference and make our world a better place. Congratulations again to our newest inductees. You've joined a select company as distinguished alumni. I'm actually hoping that maybe, you can put your mics on and maybe you want to chat a little bit before we wrap up tonight. I hope people don't mind. It wasn't in my notes, but I just think it would be great. The event this year was a little different. You can tell my monitor with everyone's photos is up above, so I'm taking a look at all of you. And it was just so great to bring you together, even in this virtual world. Actually, we're quite lucky, I think, that we've got something like Zoom, right? That we can still all connect and see each other with everything that's going on in the world. And it really was wonderful having everyone here. And hopefully we'll be back in a venue next year and you can all come back and meet each other and we'll have a good time. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you. And again, so glad you were here. If you want to open up your microphones and chat with each other, I'm hoping that's okay. It's only 6:22. The night's still young. And thanks everyone for being here.